And it says, your YouTube videos about Italians are full of BS. All Italians, including Sicilians, have remained the same since ancient times and not mixed with Africans, Arabs. But I think a lot of Southern Italians will know exactly what I'm talking about. Europeans, including Southern Europeans, actually have the lightest untanned skin in the world. So even when they're dark or swarthy, they're still lighter than everyone else. Okay. Hi, I'm Danielle Romero. Thank you so much for being with me here on my channel, where we have been talking about American identity and family stories. And today I want to read an email I got. I don't know. It made me laugh, but it also had some links in it. So I wanted to talk about them with you. If you would like an ad-free experience, you can hop on over to my Patreon and join me over there. I upload all the videos early, totally ad-free, and we can connect, and it's pretty cool. I want to read this email. I will spare him the shame of his name. The subject of the email was Italians 101, which made me laugh, so I'm like, I'm in. And it says, your YouTube videos about Italians are full of BS. All Italians, including Sicilians, have remained the same since ancient times and not mixed with Africans, Arabs, or other non-Europeans. They're genetically and phenotypically Caucasoid and Southern European from north to south. And then a bunch of links to a blog. Now, I wasn't sure if these were his or not. I asked, but didn't get a response. But I was curious, so I wanted to share one of the articles that was on this blog with you. And this blog seems to be all about Italian anthropology. So I'm going to jump over to screen share view so you can look at it with me, okay? Okay, so this is the blog. He sent me a bunch of links, including a link to this article. And I want to talk a little bit about this in particular. It says, dark and swarthy Italians are still light. And he says, we've seen how olive skin is misunderstood by people to mean tan or non-white. Now let's look at the same thing with words like dark or swarthy used to describe the complexions of Europeans. Applied mostly but not exclusively to Southern Europeans, people treat them as evidence against whiteness, but they're really just exaggerations of reality, like in this passage from White on Arrival, about how Italian gangsters were portrayed in the media. And they go ahead and quote, Al Capone was constantly portrayed in books, magazine articles, pulps, and movies as having dark or swarthy complexion. When he appeared in court in 1929 in Philadelphia on charges of having concealed a weapon, the Chicago Daily News noticed that his face, which is rather dark, assumed a dull reddish hue. No one emphasized Italians' dark features more than popular writer and former newsman Walter Burns. In his book, The One-Way Ride, Johnny Torrio was, quote, a slight, dapper, dark young man. And he goes to describe some more famous Italians who said they were black-haired, black-eyed, and looked not unlike Arabs, and probably had their ancestral strain from North African blood. And so he goes on to say that, you hear these things and you probably picture people who are dark. I remember this is all arbitrary, like who's considered light, who's considered dark, but we'll get to that. I want to just finish this very brief article. So then he goes to show pictures of these men, ostensibly to say that they actually aren't as dark as you would imagine. And he says this kind of exaggeration is similar to English ideas about the so-called Black Irish. They're really just white people from the British Isles, not Ireland, who have dark hair and eyes and a Mediterranean appearance. So we're going to actually do a video on the Black Irish soon. He goes to list some people and saying that old school Nordicists used to claim that part of the Celtic physiognomy was black tinted skin. Benjamin Franklin was even more extreme, basically lumping all whites who weren't Anglo-Saxon into a swarthy group with non-whites, including some who were probably lighter than English people. And we talked about this on my channel. I did a whole video on this essay where Benjamin Franklin is saying everybody in Europe, the Spaniards, the Italians, the French, the Russians, and the Swedes are swarthy. They're not Anglo-Saxon. Anglo-Saxon are the only white people that Ben Franklin, that's what he wrote. So this person goes on to say, the lesson is not to take descriptions like that literally or meaning something non-white. Europeans, including Southern Europeans, actually have the lightest untanned skin in the world. So even when they're dark or swarthy, they're still lighter than everyone else. Okay. We're on some other crazy website called racialreality.blogspot.com. might be good actually. So this says skin reflectance of selected world populations, and it's from 2006. I don't know where this data is from. All samples are composed of indigenous populations, and readings are taken on areas of the body not exposed to the sun. So it looks like they're taking higher numbers indicate lighter skin, lower values darker skin. So they're taking maybe how light reflects off skin that's not exposed to the sun and seeing how dark people are. So this is Europe. These are the people that got checked in Europe. And we're not going to go through all this, but Netherlands, Germany, United Kingdom, Spain, United Kingdom, Ireland, Spain, Belgium, United Kingdom. Okay, I don't see Italy on here. Then West Asia, no Italy. Africa, no Italy. South Asia, East Asia, okay, America, okay, there's no Italy on here. So I'm not totally sure how linking to that proves anything because it's saying Europeans, including Southern Europeans. Italians aren't on this list, first of all. But to say the lightest untanned skin in the world is just a really strange thing to say. And I've got to say that when they were showing these pictures of Al Capone, and maybe we'll do a separate video on this if you want, because this person has a whole nother article about it, showing pictures of Al Capone saying, well, he's described as swarthy, he's described as dark, but like, look how light he is. And this picture was colorized with blue eyes. I don't know if he actually had blue eyes. I have no idea. But I can tell you, being of predominantly Southern Italian heritage, that I am a completely different color in the winter. Case in point. I haven't been in the sun basically since, I hadn't been in the sun basically since, I guess, September. It started to get cooler here in Nashville, and I hadn't gone anywhere. And so I have an entire set of makeup that is my winter makeup. It is like 2 or 3 shades lighter. And then I just went to go visit my family in Florida. I was only there for a handful of days, but we were out. We were at the pool, at the beach, and I got tanned. Now, it was only a couple days, so it was not a lot, but it was enough that I was able to switch to my summer makeup. And so, if you took a picture of me in November, I'm going to look a lot different than if you took a picture of me in August. And in fact, if you go back and look at YouTube videos that I was filming over the summer, I'm a lot darker because I like to garden. I like to try to keep roses alive. And so all that to say is that that's not unique to Italians, but I think a lot of Southern Italians will know exactly what I'm talking about. And a lot of other folks who maybe have like light tan skin, there's going to be some shifts. So we can't necessarily say, hey, they said he was dark, but he's not dark in this picture. Yeah, things aren't static. Now, what I really was surprised by was in the email, he says that all Italians, including Sicilians, have remained the same since ancient times. Is that true of any group? Maybe there's some groups that haven't mixed in ancient times because they haven't come into contact with anyone. But it's very interesting to say that they are not mixed with Africans, Arabs, or other non-Europeans. I know based on my family's DNA tests and, blah, 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 that we had a lot of African ancestry on the Italian side and Arabic ancestry on the Italian side. Now, that's a different conversation than saying someone is legally white in the United States. White was a legal class. It didn't at first necessarily have to do with how tan you were. There was a sense that people from certain countries were considered white or not, as proven by Ben Franklin's letter. He's saying really the only white people are from England. That's it. When the founding fathers were working through how do we naturalize people into this new nation in 1790, they said you had to be a free white man of good character. They didn't specify what white meant. I think probably because it was self-referential. They were probably thinking you had to be British. As people are coming to the United States, as things are changing over time, that's when you start getting the Supreme Court cases in the 20s and the 30s of folks from Armenia, from Syria, from India, from Japan, trying to claim that they are white because white is not a country. White is not a nation. It is a legal standing. And they were arguing that they were white. There was a man, I did a video on this. He was from Japan and he was arguing that he counted as white. And he said, look at my skin. Look at how white I am. I'm whiter than you guys sitting there here in the court. but he was denied citizenship because they said, like, your skin might be white, but you're not Caucasian and you need to be both. It doesn't matter if Italians were considered white. That doesn't mean that they're not mixed with these other people. And again, if you look at where Italy is, how could you not be mixed? So, you know, I love to drink coffee, and now I am drinking coffee from Phoenix Coffee Club. They are sending me coffee on a schedule. It is amazing. And if you'd love to support the channel and grab some, they just lowered their prices, and you can use the coupon code NYTN for 10% off, and it helps the channel so much. I'll leave a link to it below. So let me know what you think about Southern Europeans having the lightest untanned skin in the world. I am getting so close to 100,000 subscribers. I cannot believe it. I am just totally floored. So if you've been around and you'd like to hang out, not miss a video, please go ahead and subscribe. Help me get to 100,000. I'm just totally speechless. I'm totally speechless. So happy to have so many people who are asking the same questions and joining in on this community. Thank you so much for being here. We'll talk soon.